Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios, where tonight the Vikings are getting ready to try and maintain their hold on first place as they take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Rick Olson here, and soon I'll head to our other studio and join Dan Petchow as we're getting ready to remotely bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's Dun St. Croix Conference game right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Elmwood Plum City Wolves and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll remotely bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where Dan Petchow and I are getting ready to remotely bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game between the Elmwood Plum City Wolves and the Colfax Vikings. Now, the Vikings are all alone in first place in the Dun St. Croix Conference and are looking to stay right there. On Monday, the Vikings defeated the Boyceville Bulldogs 73-41. In that game, the Vikings were led in scoring by freshman forward McKenna Shipman, who tallied 17 points. She was followed by senior Abby Irwin, who added 11 points. In addition, senior Marissa Harmon and junior Maddie Barstead added 9 points each. The season leading scorer for the Vikings is Barstead, who's putting up 13.5 points per game. She's followed by Shipman, who's contributing 7.5, and junior Jasmine Best, senior Marissa Harmon, and senior Addison Olson, who are putting up 6+ points per game. The leading rebounder for the Vikings is Barstead, who's pulling down an average of 8 boards per game. Elmwood Plum City comes into tonight's game following a 51-36 loss to the Mondovi Buffaloes on Monday. The Wolves were led by junior guard Maggie Glaus, who's averaging just over 14 points per game. She's followed by senior forward Anna Blandford, who's adding nearly 8 points per game, and sophomore guard Hannah Forster, who contributes nearly 7 points per game. Glaus is also the team's leading rebounder, pulling down an average of nearly 14 boards per game. Now, coming up next, following this brief timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. Following that, Dan and I will remotely bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today we're talking with the Viking girls head coach Courtney Serrar. And Coach, on Monday, the Vikings got an important win that became even more important when Elk Mound defeated the Durand Panthers as the Vikings defeated the Bulldogs 73-41. Your comments about that game?
Yeah, it was just a great, team win. Again, our first goal is to win the Den St. Croix, and we've put ourselves in a great position to be able to do that. But we're still just taking, it one game at a time and hoping we can get to that last conference game with no pressure on us to get that win for the title.
Well, now that win, along with the Elk Mound win, leaves the Vikings all alone atop the Dun St. Croix Conference. And tonight, you're facing the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, a team that the girls defeated 74-49 back on December 3rd. What can you tell us about the Wolves?
Yeah, that they've gotten better since we've played them last. I know that. So they gave Elk Mound a tough game last week, and that Maggie Glaus is probably, the best athlete in the conference. So we have to make sure that we do a good job on her and just come ready to play. I think, if we play our best game right from the start, I don't think that they can play with us. But we don't want to also come off soft and give them a chance to hang around. So just challenging the girls to make sure that, right from the get-go that we're there, we're ready to play, and show them that, hey, we're the first place team in the conference and we want to stay there.
Now, last Monday, Boyceville kept the game close through about halfway through the first half, even took the lead a couple of times. Was that enough to keep the girls concerned and keep them from taking the Wolves too lightly and digging a hole they might not be able to dig out from?
Yeah, I don't think it was, it wasn't anything that we played, bad on Monday or anything like that. We got a lot of really great shots that just didn't go in right away. And I think had those gone in, it would have been a different story. But, we've always said from day one that no matter who you're playing, the things that we do shouldn't change. And I think we've, preached that many, many times. So I'm hoping just hearing that constant message from myself and the rest of my coaching staff that they know that they have to come ready to play no matter who it is. So.
Now, are there any Viking players that we need to focus on tonight?
Like I said, it's just been a fun ride to see who comes ready to play and who's got the hot hand. And it's been a pretty even scoring route. But we've had lots of kids just, I've told them too, like points isn't everything. Jazzy Paulus has played super well the last few games, just, always boxing out and rebounding. Riley Parker too has just done an excellent job on doing all the little things, setting great screens, boxing out, rebounding, all of those things. Those are little things that win games too, and oftentimes don't show up in the scorebook, so they get overlooked. But I just am impressed with how our girls have played together as a team, and I think that they'll continue to do that.
Are there any changes or anything in the injury, illness, or COVID situations we should know about?
There's no JV game tonight, just varsity. So for those tuning in, the game starts at 6:00 and it's just the varsity game. So if they're thinking they missed the JV game, they didn't. Other than
Nor
that,
are they tuning into the JV game. If they tune in that early, it's usually a JV game they're getting, so they're not watching JV. It's varsity.
Right. Exactly. So, other than that, Jill's still out. So she has, been working towards, slowly coming back. So she's out of her boot, but still not 100%. So we're hoping to see her, closer towards the end of the season. And other than that, we don't have any, changes or anything to the schedule. So.
Well, when you have to go to a team that is pretty eager to play spoiler and you're playing it at their place, it's always a little tougher. So let's hope that the Vikings will find a way to hang on to that first place spot in the Dun St. Croix race.
Thanks.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Vikings are trying to maintain their first place position in the Dun St. Croix Conference by upping their conference record to 8 wins and 1 loss. On the other hand, the Wolves would like to improve their 1-5 conference record and play the spoiler role in a tight conference championship race. So the stage is set for some exciting high school girls basketball, and we'll remotely have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. In just a moment, I'll head to our other studio and join my colleague Dan Petchow as we remotely bring you all the action of tonight's game between the Colfax Vikings and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
To Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
NLWN-TV is excited to present NWA-RCI's Racing Action. Next Saturday we'll present live ice racing from Bloomer, Wisconsin. Join us at 11:45 a.m. from Como Lake in Bloomer. That's live NWA-RCI's Racing Action on Saturday, January 23rd at 11:45 on NLWN-TV.
Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
They're at the free throw line to Addison from 3. She hit it! Addison Olsen with the 3-point.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking girls varsity basketball game.
Baum being chased down and finally pulled away by Barstead, who puts it up and in.
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Best drives into the lane, puts up a shot, rattles around and in. And Rick Olson here along with Dan Petchow. And actually, I was very relieved when I got into the studio and saw him sitting here because, Dan, now I'm assuming that tire on your trailer is now all the way around. It's not flat on one side?
Right, yeah, it's been modified.
Okay, and isn't it funny how it always is flat on the bottom?
It is.
All right. Well, anyway, as you can tell, Dan had some technical difficulties getting here, but he got here just in the nick of time. And we're sitting in our studios here getting ready to bring you this game remotely between the Vikings and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Vikings, as you can see, are in the red, warming up down there. Elmwood Plum City in the home whites. And Dan, why don't you let us know who's going to be playing in this one?
Yeah, here's the starters for Elmwood Plum City Wolves tonight. They're going to go with junior guard number 3, Haley McDonough. Junior number 11, Maggie Glaus. Sophomore number 14, Lily Webb. Junior number 20, Hannah Beyer. And senior number 22, Anna Blandford. For the Colfax Vikings, they're going to go with senior number 10, Addison Olsen. Senior number 14, Bailey Bradford. Senior number 20, Marissa Harmon. junior number 22, Maddie Barstead, and senior number 40, Jasmine Paulus.
And I think what we're going to try and do is pick up the public address announcer. I know that the public address for the live stream feeds from Elmwood Plum City is really quiet, but we'll see if we can't pick up theirs just in case there might be some changes. And I guess we're going to do the national anthem first.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's St. Croix Conference Girls Basketball game between the Colfax Vikings and the City Wolves. To honor America and those defending our freedom, we ask those who are able to stand, remove your hats, and place your hands over your heart for the national anthem.
And the national anthem from Elmwood High School. And as you can tell, the public address system is really quiet. So we'll assist them. Let's call it that way. And we'll see if they're doing the same lineups as what we had. We did get from Coach Serrar the starters would be the same starters that they've been having the last few nights. And they're getting ready to do the Viking lineups. And they did the sportsmanship announcement by one of the players. Now we'll get the starting lineups. And the first one out is Addison Olson, number 10 for the Vikings. Then Bailey Bradford, the 5'7" senior. Then Marissa Harmon, the 5'6" guard. And 5'7" swing forward junior Maddie Barstead. And the 5'6" senior forward Jasmine Paulus. And the rest of the Viking girls. And then for the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, we start out with number 3, Haley McDonough. And number 11, Maggie Glaus. We heard Coach Serrar talk about her quite a bit. Or that's Maggie Glaus right there. Evidently, Isabel Forrester is starting instead of somebody. We have number 12, Hannah Forrester. We have the 2 Forrester girls out there. And I'm trying to see who the last one is. Hannah Byer is also starting. So it's a little bit different than what we thought. Vikings will get the ball to start this one. And we're just ready to get underway, and we are. Olsen with it, feeds it over to left side, then back out to Paulus at the top of the key. Paulus feeds it down low to Barstead, back out to Paulus at the free throw line, puts a shot up from the lane. It's off the side of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Forster for Elmwood Plum City. She dishes it off to McDonough, who feeds it down underneath to Hannah Forrester. Gets it out to McDonough. Back over to Hannah, then into the lane, and shot goes up and in by Glaus. Elmwood Plum City up by 2-0 as we get things started. Barstead picks up the ball, drives down the lane, put it up, got fouled on the way in. That's going to be the first foul on Elmwood Plum City. And Barstead's at the line. First shot on the way, it's good. And Barstead's second shot is on the way, and it's also good, and we're all even up at 2. 17-11 to go in half number 1. Elmwood Plum City inbounds it. Full court pressure, but they fall off quickly by the Vikings. They feed it over to McDonough on the left, then down into the corner, back out high to Isabella Forrester. She gets it over to Hannah, out to McDonough, then at the top of the key, and a three-pointer goes in by Hannah Beyer. 5-2, Elmwood Plum City on top. Olsen brings it down, feeds it out to Barstead, puts up the three off the side of the iron, no good. And the ball goes out of bounds. It's going to go over to Elmwood Plum City. Vikings down by 3. McDonough has it in the backcourt. She's under pressure by Barstead. Gets it over to Hannah. That's one of the Forresters. And she gets it out to McDonough, and we have a 10-second call against Elmwood Plum City. Good, tough defense by the Vikings to force that turnover.
Yeah, that's a good start for Colfax for their defense.
Ball comes into Olsen. She's between the circles. Takes it over to the left side. Feeds it out high to Harmon. Puts up the three, and she hit it. Marissa Harmon with the three-pointer. And it's all tied up at 5. Isabella gets it back over underneath to McDonough. McDonough under a lot of pressure in the backcourt. Vikings putting on some real tight pressure. Finally, Elmwood Plum City gets it into the forecourt. Out to the top of the key to McDonough. Then it's over to Beyer. Out to Isabella. To McDonough. Out to Glaus. To Isabella. She drives into the lane. No good. Rebound taken down by Elmwood Plum City. And gets it over to Isabella. And she put it up and in. 7-5. Elmwood on top. Olsen with it. To the forecourt. Feeds it over to Harmon. Now over to Barstead. Puts up the three. Off the iron, off the glass, and through the net. And we are tied at 7. Hannah gets it over to Isabella. And we have a whistle. And evidently out of bounds. That's what happens when I look down at the roster just as something happens. Vikings inbound it. Olsen has it across the timeline. Gets it over to the right side to Harmon. She takes it out to the top of the key. Back over to Olsen on the left. Back out to Harmon. Now they swing it over to the left again. Shot, no. Back down into the lane. Then back out to Barstead. Puts up the three, no good. And rebound taken down by Plum City. Down the floor they come, and with it. Drives to the lane, puts it up, but got fouled on her way in. It looks like the foul is going to be Bailey Bradford, and it is. That's, I believe, her first team foul on the Vikings. Hannah Forrester at the line. Shot goes up, no good. She's got another one coming. Several substitutions come into the lineup for the Vikings. Next shot on the way, and it goes in. And we are tied at 8. On the floor comes Shipman, and she tries to drive the baseline, drew a foul while she was driving along the baseline. I think it was on Forrester. Isabella. I thought he held up a 1 and a 0. So the Vikings inbound it. They get it out to Schofield and then over onto the left side. And Shipman got herself into a little bit of trouble and ended up walking. Traveling call on the Vikings, and the ball goes over to Elmwood Plum City. Forrester with it, over to McDonough. Back over to Forrester. Takes it across the timeline. McDonough. Actually, she went across the timeline, passed it to McDonough in the backcourt. We get an over and back. You don't see that type of over. It's a classic, but you don't see it very often.
Yeah, good job by Colfax again to create the turnover.
And put a little pressure on them, confuse them a little bit, and cause that turnover. So Best has it at the top of the key for the Vikings, feeds it over to the left side. And then they get it over to Irwin, who puts up the shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Isabella. And down the floor comes the Wolves. Dunna feeds it over to Hannah, then over to Isabella, then to McDonough over in the right corner. Back out to Hannah, and then she gets it over to Byer, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound chased down by McDonough. Then to Isabella. Isabella drives the left or the right side of the lane, puts it up, no good. Second time up, shot gets blocked, and the ball gets chased down by Shipman. Vikings come down the floor quickly, Best on the move. Feeds it underneath, and the ball gets knocked out of bounds. And they're going to say it went off of Barstead. And so Elmwood gets the ball. A lot of pressure being put on Elmwood, and the Vikings steal the pass. Get it to Olsen, who puts up the three. No good. Rebound taken down by Maggie House. They get it over to Forrester. Forrester stops to the right side, gets it back out high to Byer, who puts down into the right corner. They put a shot up, no good. Rebound, knocked out of bounds. It goes over to the Vikings. That was McDonough with the shot down from the right corner. A couple more substitutes coming in for the Vikings. And down the floor comes Best. Takes it over to the left side. To Parker on the left side. She just came in. To Irwin out, high, wide, and left. Then over to the right side to Bertram Schofield, then to Shipman. Feeds it down to the baseline to Best. Best tries to feed it out to Shipman. Shipman gets it out to Parker. Parker over to, it's hard telling from over there. It was Barstad. She went to the lane and got fouled on her way in. I'll check that's Best.
Third team foul on Elmwood Plum City.
Shot goes up and goes in by Jasmine Best. Vikings on top, 9-8. 12:34 to go. Second shot off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down, but then taken away by the Vikings. And then Elmwood takes it right back again. Coast-to-coast run, and she got fouled on the way up. That was Maggie Glaus going up and got fouled on the way up. A lot of coaches would call that a smart foul. Make her get it from the line rather than the gimme layup.
Yeah, good job for Colfax. Good job by Colfax to get back and play defense.
Glaus' shot has been good. Ties us up at 9. And now the second shot on the way. It's also good. Elmwood Plum's back on top, 10-9. And Best brings it down the floor. Takes it over to the right side, now feeds it over to the left. Jump shot from the left side is no good by Bertram Schofield. And Elmwood Plum City comes away with the rebound. Vikings are not boxing out for rebounds right now. Three-pointer on the way, and it's good. Trying to check the number. Who just put that up? That was Byer. Put up that three-pointer. And now Shipman tries to answer, and does. It's only a 2-point, though, for Shipman. So it's 13-12. Well, they say 13 to 11. Yeah, that must be right because we had 9. And Elmwood Plum City driving into the lane. Vikings fouled them on the way in. It's sending Hannah Forrester to the line. Her shot is up and good. Bertram Schofield out. Second shot is on the way off the back of the iron, and the rebound taken down by Parker. Down the floor come the Vikings. Tries to feed it into the lane, but it went off of an Elmwood Plum City foot. It'll be Vikings ball. And we have a timeout on the floor. So with 11:26 to go in the first half, it's Elmwood 14, Vikings 11. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380. And we're back looking at Elmwood High School, or Elmwood Plum City. This game is taking place in Elmwood. Barstead has the ball for the Vikings. She gets over to Best at between circles, over to Parker on the left. Over to Parker driving down the lane. She puts it up. She overlaid it. Put back shot is no good, but the foul on the way up. And I believe that's Shipman going to the line for the Vikings. It is.
14 foul for Elmwood.
McKenna Shipman, her first shot is on the way off the back of the iron. No. Vikings a little bit cold, need to find their rhythm. Second shot on the way, and that one's good. 14-12, Vikings down by 2. McDonough has it for the Wolves. She gets it over to Hannah, then down into the forecourt to Webb. Ball's loose on the floor. Izzy got it and tries to feed it toward the lane. It went out of bounds. I believe it went off of Colfax's hands. And the referee believes so too. So he's going to give the ball to the Wolves. Ball comes in to Isabella. Feeds it over to the right side to McDonough. Back up high to Hannah. Over to Isabella. Then they get it back out high to Webb. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by the Vikings, and Elmwood Plum City to have it. McDonough with it at the top of the key. Gets it over to Webb on the left side. Drives to the free throw line. Kicks it back out to Isabella. She feeds it out to McDonough. Then the ball goes out for a three-pointer. Rattles around and goes down. That was by Maggie Glaus. And down the floor come the Vikings. Driving into the lane is Barstead, and she lays it up and in. 17-14, Vikings down by 3. Down the floor comes Elmwood Plum City, feeding it underneath the Glaus, and she got hammered pretty hard that time by Parker. So Maggie Glaus is going to go to the line.
14 foul for Colfax.
Maggie Glaus's first shot is on the way. It's good. 18-14. We took a little trip. On Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. Thank you, Johnny Horton. Young folks today wouldn't know who I was talking about. Anyway, Glaus's second shot is on the way. Good. So it's 19-14. And the Vikings come down the floor with Olsen on the dribble. Between the circles, takes it over to the left side. Looking to get it. She feeds down to the left side of the lane to Barstead, drives down, lays it up, and puts it in. Maddie Barstead makes it 18-16, three-point game. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. I believe it was knocked out by Olsen. And so it will be I don't know why I keep wanting to call them Glenwood City. They both have wood in their name. But it's Elmwood Plum City. They both have wood in the city. Inbound pass got knocked out of bounds, so Elmwood Plum City has to do it again. Isabella has it out between the circles, feeds it over to Beyer, then over to Webb on the left side, and the ball gets knocked out of bounds again by the Vikings.
Yeah, good defense by Maddie Barstead there.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not a good thing when we knock the ball out of bounds, but actually it takes the other team out of their rhythm, so it's not bad at all. Isabella with it, drives into the lane, kicks it back out. They get it to Glaus now down near the baseline, puts up a hook shot, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Down the floor comes Barstead. She's into the lane, tries to feed it off, gets knocked loose. She gets a hold of it, and we have a whistle and a foul. And they're going to get Barstead trying to get the ball back after it got knocked loose. Unless they called a jump ball.
I was going to say, I think they called a jump ball.
They may have called a jump ball because nobody went over to the officials, to the scores table. So possession arrow must have been in favor of the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Anyway, they have it. They're coming down the floor. Feed to Beyer. Her pass gets knocked away by Olsen. She feeds it over to Barstead, who comes down the floor. Tries to get it over to Harmon, and they're going to say it went out of bounds off of the Wolves, so the Vikings have it. Harmon inbounds it to Olsen. She's out high, now comes down in between the circles. Over to the right side now to Bradford. To Knoll. Tries to feed it into the lane, but an errant pass gets taken away by the Wolves, and now they're driving down into their lane, and no on the shot. And on the putback attempt, a foul. It's going to be a foul on Knoll, and it's going to send Hannah Forster to the line.
Yeah, that's the 15 foul for Colfax.
We're just about halfway through. Well, we're just a little over halfway through the first half. First shot goes up and good. (20-16). Second shot on the way. It's also good. 21-16. Vikings down by 5. Olsen brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Top of the key. Turns around. Gets it back out to Barstead. Tries to drive the lane. A lot of traffic there. She got tied up and a foul underneath. And they're going to say it was while Barstead was trying to shoot.
I do believe that was at number 12, Hannah Forster.
The shot is up and good by Barstead. 21-17. Paulus into the lineup for Knoll for the Vikings. Barstead's second shot on the way. It's also good. 21-18, three-point game. It's been hanging around that three-point number for quite a while now. Down the floor comes Hannah Forster. Gets it over to Sister Isabella. To McDonough. Then to Beyer. Back to McDonough. They're on the left side. Now she takes it out to the top of the key. Now comes down the lane on the left side. Back over to the right side to Hannah. Puts it up good. Rebound taken down by Olsen. She comes across the timeline. Top of the key. Down the right side. Spins. Goes into the lane. Tries to put it up and draws the foul. Addie Olsen with the move to the hoop that draws the foul. First shot by Addison off the back of the iron. Vikings a little bit cold in the first half. They've been starting out that way the last few games. Hopefully, like the last few games, they find the rhythm and the ball starts going in. Addison's second shot is in. 21-19. It's a 2-point deficit for the Vikings. Plum City inbounds it, and the ball gets knocked out of bounds off of Olson, I think. Oh, they're all coming down to this end, evidently. No, they're going to say it was a foul. It's a foul on Elmwood Plum City, and I believe that's going to put Addison Olson to the line for the 1-and-1.
Yeah, Colfax goes into the bonus.
Addison's first shot is up, and no good. Rebound taken down by Elmwood Plum City. This is Hannah with it. Hannah in the backfield being covered by, or backcourt covered by Olson. Feeding it down to Glaus, lays it up off the glass, and it goes in. 23-19. Olson with it at the free throw line. Gets it out to Barstead. Barstead trying to drive down, and the ball gets knocked loose by Isabella. Drives down the lane, puts the shot up, and it's no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Fed down to Bradford. Bradford puts the shot up. It rattles around and goes in. 23-21, a two-point game again. And here comes Elmwood down the floor. To Beyer. Tries to feed it underneath, but it gets knocked out of bounds by Harmon. And it's a good thing because it would have been an easy basket. We have a timeout on the floor. So with a timeout on the floor, it's Elmwood Plum City 23, Vikings 21. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You have a high-deductible health plan. Opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow looking in at Elmwood High School, or Elmwood Plum City. And just this reminder that the next girls game is scheduled for Tuesday, January 26th, when the Viking girls host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. You know, I'll probably end up calling them Elmwood. Viking pregame will be at 6:55, and live play-by-play will begin at 7:10 right here. The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. All right, Elmwood Plum City to inbound the ball. They get it out high to Isabella. She's between the circles. Feeds it over to Sister Hannah. She gets it over to Webb. Webb drives into the lane. Ball gets knocked loose, picked up by the Vikings, and down the floor come the Vikings. On the dribble right through the center circle. She gets it over to Harmon on the right. Back out to Barstead between the circles. To Bradford, high wide right, over to Harmon on the right wing. Puts up the three, no good. Rebound being chased down, and we got a whistle, and I think we're going to have a foul call on Marissa Harmon. Pretty good collision out there near midcourt. Isabella up a little bit slow, but she seems no worse for wear. Is going to get a chance to go take a seat, though.
Yeah, good hustle on part of both teams there.
And down the floor come the Wolves. Webb feeds it cross court over to Hannah. Puts it up, and it goes in. 25-21. Down the floor comes Olson. She feeds it out to Paulus, to Barstead. Barstead tries to make a move to the hole. Ball got knocked loose, has to think twice about it. Now they swing the ball around. Bradford has it to Olson down in the right corner. Out to Barstead on the right wing. To the top of the key to Harmon. And now over to Paulus on the left side to Olson driving the lane. She put a shot up. It didn't go, but she did draw the foul and is going to go to the line.
Yeah, the foul's on number 3, Haley McDonough for Elmwood Plum City.
Addison Olson shooting 2. First one on the way. It's good. Number of substitutions coming in for the Vikings. Olson's second shot. It's on the way, And it's also good. 25-23. Vikings trailing by 2. 5:52 to go in the first half. And down the floor come the Wolves. They feed it over to Isabella. Then over to Webb to Byer on the left side. Ball gets knocked loose, picked up by Hannah. Get it down to Glaus. Picked up by the Vikings, and down the floor come the Vikings. Best put a 3. She hit the 3-pointer. Jasmine Best with a 3-pointer. And that'll put the Vikings back on top, 26-25. Down the floor come the Wolves. 3-point answer shot is no good. That was attempted by Byer. The ball gets knocked out of bounds off the Vikings, so it'll be Elmwood Plum City's ball. Byer to inbound. She gets it into Webb, out high to Isabella, then to Byer down in the left corner, to Isabella on the left wing, to Webb at the top of the key. Comes down the right side. Gets it out to Hannah. Over to Byer. Byer puts up the 3-pointer and got it. Down the floor come the Vikings. Shot goes up by Best. It's no good. Rebound chased down by Elmwood Plum City. It's 28-26. Elmwood Plum City up by 2. Down the floor they come. Shot goes up by Byer, and we have a whistle. And we have a foul, and I couldn't tell who they were saying that was on. But it was on the Vikings. Shot is up and good by Hannah Forrester.
Yeah, that put the Elmwood in the bonus.
And her second shot off the back of the iron. Chased down by Shipman for the Vikings, and quickly down the floor come the Vikings. Barstead tries to feed it across the lane, and it goes off an Elmwood Plum City foot, and it's going to be Viking ball. Vikings down by 3. Inbound pass out to Best. Hands it off to Irwin. Back over to Best on the left side. Tries to take it down to the baseline. Back out high to Irwin. To Bertram Schofield. Then to Irwin, puts up the 3, and she hit it. We are tied at 29, and we have it's either I believe she may have stepped on the sideline. It was a turnover at any rate. I was looking to see if it might have been a player control foul, but it was not. All tied at 29, 3:53 to go in the first half. Best has it for the Vikings, takes it down the left side of the lane, kicks it back out to Barstead, launches the 3, off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Bertram Schofield, falling over backwards, put up a shot, and it went in. Inbound pass, and I think they're going to get Elmwood Plum City with a travel, because Webb caught the ball and fell over with it before she got rid of it, and that was travel. Vikings inbound it, picked up by Best. She puts up 3, rattles in and out, no good. And Elmwood Plum City has the ball. This is Isabella with it down the floor. Gets it over to Webb, feeds it underneath to Byer. Byer puts up a shot, it's partially blocked, and it goes out of bounds off the Vikings.
Vikings defense picking up a little bit here in the first half.
They're sure getting hands in the way, aren't they? Hannah has it, and she traveled. And so the ball goes over to the Vikings. You know, when you're having a cold day, sometimes a hot defense is exactly what you need. Timeout on the floor. Vikings 31, Wolves 20. 36-29. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings. And we're back looking in at Elmwood High School. And the Vikings will have the ball. They come down the floor. Best on the dribble. Stops between the circles. Feeds it over to Irwin on the right side. Drives down the baseline. Kicks it out high to Shipman. Shipman with a three-pointer. No good. Rebound being chased down and being fought for. And they're going to call a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. So Irwin inbound it. Gets it into Best. She brings it across the timeline. On the left side. She's on the left wing. Feeds it out high to Shipman. Shipman with a three-pointer. No good. Rebound. Taken out. Put right back up again, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul underneath. Emily Bertram-Schofield, I believe, is going to go to the line.
Yeah, and I do believe the foul is on Lily Webb for Elmwood.
And Bertram-Schofield's first shot is good. Anderson's shot is off the iron, no good. But rebound taken down by Shipman. Out to Irwin, three-pointer on the way. And it goes in! Abby Irwin with the three-pointer. 35-29, Vikings up by 6. Elmwood coming down the floor, and Glaus with it. And dribbled on the baseline, and so it's going over to the Vikings.
Yeah, Colfax create another turnover.
Kind of turn things around a little bit now. They're coming down the floor. That tough defense is what they really needed to do. Irwin with it, gets it over to the left side. Long three-pointers, no good. Bertram-Schofield in to get the rebound, and she got fouled. And I don't know whether it was on her way back up, or is that the 10th foul?
That is the 10th foul. I think it was a shooting foul.
Yeah, she's shooting 2 anyway, and the first one's good. 36-29. 2:10 to go in the first half. Second shot's good. 37-29. Vikings on top. And down the floor comes Elmwood Plum City. They get it over to Hannah. We get it fought for down on the floor, and a jump ball being called. I believe possession arrows in favor of the Wolves. It is. So Hannah to inbound it. Hands it off to Sister Isabella. And we have a whistle.
Yep, foul on number 4, Abby Irwin for Colfax.
Reached in a little bit on the inbound pass. So it's going to send Isabella Forrester to the line for the 1-on-1. First shot's up. It's good. (37-30). And the second shot's on the way. It's also good. 37-31. Vikings up by 6. And down the floor comes Best with the Vikings. Feeds it over to the left side. Back out to Best. Three-pointer on the way off the back of the iron. No good. Ball gets chased down by Elmwood Plum City. She sat down with the ball before she could pass it off. That's on Webb. And it goes over to the Vikings with a traveling call.
Yeah.
And we have a timeout. So with a timeout on the floor, Vikings 37, Elmwood Plum City Wolves 31. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
NLWN-TV is excited to present NWA-RCI's racing action. Next Saturday we'll present live ice racing from Bloomer, Wisconsin. Join us at 11:45 a.m. from Como Lake in Bloomer. That's live NWARCI's racing action on Saturday, January 23rd at 11:45 on NLWN-TV.
And Dan, I'll tell you what, they're calling for cold weather and snow and everything on Saturday. We're going to have fun.
Yeah, winter activities.
Oh, boy. Vikings have the ball. Between circles is best. She gets it over to the left side, and Shipman tries to take it down into the lane. And she must have taken a step too early because the ball goes over to the Wolves. Wolves under a lot of pressure in the backcourt. We have a whistle and a jump ball being called. Possession arrow should be in favor of the Vikings. And it is. There was a little confusion over there, but now going to inbound it for the Vikings. Feeds it over to Bertram Schofield, drives the left baseline, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Barstead. He tries to go back up with it, and Elmwood Plum City comes away with the ball. Hannah with it, feeds it over to Isabella. To Webb. Webb down the right side, tries to feed it into Glaus and can't get there. Vikings come away with the ball, and we get a jump ball being called. That was a pretty quick whistle on that jump ball, I think. But,
yeah.
Possession arrow in favor of the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Pass comes out high to Isabella. Gets it over to Hannah. To Byer, top of the key. Over to Webb on the left. To Hannah on the right wing. Out to Byer, top of the key, back to Hannah. Over to Webb on the left. To Hannah on the right. To Byer, to Webb. Ball gets knocked loose, but picked up by Byer. To Isabella. She gets it to Hannah. Circles around, puts it up, no good. Rebound. Taken down by Barstead. 38 seconds to go. Down the floor come the Vikings. 28.9 seconds.
Setting up for the last shot, looks like.
Barstead has it between the circles. She gets it over to Best. Best also between the circles. Takes it over to the right side. Drives into the lane. Puts it up. It didn't want to go in. Ball gets knocked around out of bounds off the Vikings. It's going to be Elmwood ball. 3 seconds remain in the first half. Ball gets inbounded, and there's the horn to end the first half with the score. The Vikings 37, Elmwood Plum City Wolves 31. We've got a pretty interesting game going on here, and we've got Viking halftime coming right up.
Time now for Viking halftime with this week's edition of Viking Profile and the Colfax High School Report. That's all coming up following this brief timeout.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Addison Olson, a senior here at Colfax High School. We'll be chatting with Addison right after this message.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
We're talking with Addison Olson on Viking Profile. And Addison, We know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
No, I am not.
Okay, so when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of experience have you had?
When I was in 4th grade, I started, and it's been a long but fun road.
Now, you're not going to be able to play right away at the beginning of the season because you're one of the victims of COVID, but have you been able to struggle through some of those other kinds of difficulties through your basketball career?
Yeah, when I broke my arm, I couldn't play twice.
Okay. So what's the most important thing you've learned from playing basketball?
You always work as a team, no matter what you do. You gotta stick together.
So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that interest you and keeps you occupied?
I ride horse, so I barrel race, which takes up most of my time other than work.
Okay, here's a few rapid fire questions. Just give me the first thing that pops into your head. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Pie.
What kind?
Pumpkin.
Okay. Now, your favorite color and why?
Turquoise. I don't know why, I just really like the color.
And in fact, that's the colors you wear with one of your horses, isn't it?
Yup.
Now, if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Teleport.
Okay. That could be
So I don't
fun.
have to drive.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't have to drive.
Now, your favorite NBA or WNBA team?
Don't watch NBA.
Okay, how about your favorite college basketball team?
Wisconsin.
Now, we're talking with Addison Olson of Viking Profile. And Addison, what are your plans for after high school?
I am going to CVTC for animal science.
And what will that lead you to?
I don't know, anything with horses pretty much.
How about a shout out to your family?
Shout out to my dad for always pushing me to be my best, and shout out to my mom for always driving me to all the practices and games when I was in middle school.
Now, when people watch Viking games here on NLWN-TV, what number are you going to wear and what position do you play?
I wear number 10, and I am a point guard and a shooting guard.
Well, we want to thank Addison Olson for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next is more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Time now for the Colfax High School report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School.
At Colfax High School last week, the girls Vikings basketball team went 2-0 and remained in a tie for first place in the Dun St. Croix Conference. The Vikings defeated the Spring Valley Cardinals 75-24 last Tuesday and then knocked off the Elk Mound Mounders 47-35 on Friday. Those wins leave the Vikings with a 6-3 overall record and 6-1 win-loss record in the Dun St. Croix Conference. The Viking boys had to remain idle due to COVID-19. They were scheduled to play at Elk Mound and also travel to Boyceville last week. Those games will be made up with the Vikings traveling to Boyceville now on January 25th and traveling to Elk Mound on Saturday, January 30th. We will carry that game at Boyceville on the 25th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up this week, the Viking girls will take on the Boyceville Bulldogs on Monday and travel to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves on Thursday. We'll carry both of those games on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV, with Viking pregame at 6:55 and live play-by-play starting at 7:10. Then on Saturday, the Vikings will travel to Ellsworth to take on the Ellsworth Panthers. Unfortunately, we will not be able to carry that game as we will be covering a previously scheduled ice racing event from Bloomer. The Viking boys are scheduled to host the Spring Valley Cardinals on Tuesday and the Elk Mound Mounders on Friday. We will also carry that Elk Mound game on Friday on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV, with Viking pregame at 6:55. Live play-by-play starts at 7:10. Also this week, the middle school girls basketball team will travel to Boyceville on Tuesday, and they will host Elk Mound on Thursday. Don't forget, the Science Olympiad will be held on Saturday, January 23rd at UW River Falls. And that's what's happening at Colfax High School for January 17th through the 23rd.
You've been tuned to the Colfax High School Report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is more Viking halftime and then second half action.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
And Rick Olson back here with Dan Petchow as we're getting ready to bring you half number 2 of our game between the Colfax Vikings and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Vikings ahead 37-31. How'd we get where we are? You got a few seconds anyway. Just quick with the top scores.
Yeah, here's the top scores right now for Elmwood. We got Maggie Glaus and Hannah Beyer. They both have 11. For Colfax, their leading score right now is 22, Maddie Barstead.
And the Vikings will have the ball to begin the second half. And they get it into Olson. Vikings are now moving from right to left. Olson takes it over to the right side. She's on the right wing. Feeds it down low underneath. She goes up by Paul, and she got fouled on her way up. So that's the first foul on Elmwood of the half. Paulus at the line for 2. First shot is on its way. It's good. And the second shot is up. It's off the back of the iron. No good. Rebound chased down by the Wolves. And down the floor they come. McDonough with it. Beating it over to the left side to Hannah. And the ball gets, well, it was a little bit out of the reach of the Wolves. And it goes over to the Vikings. It went out of bounds. Olson takes it right through the middle of the center circle. Tries to feed it down to the free throw line to Arstead, but the ball got taken away by McDonough. And down the floor come the Wolves. McDonough has it between the circles. She goes over to the left side, feeds it over to Isabella, back over to Hannah. Now to Beyer, to McDonough from 3. Shot is no good. Rebound taken away by Arstead. And down the floor come the Vikings. Check that was Harmon. Out to Bradford, puts up the 3-pointer, no good. Rebound being fought for underneath, and it goes out of bounds off of Paulus. And so the Wolves have it. Isabella over to McDonough, bringing it through the backcourt. Pulls up her dribble, gets it cross court, and we have a whistle and a foul, evidently. Must have been away from, well, I don't know what the problem was because.
Yeah, they didn't go to the scorer's bench, so.
Maybe it was an inadvertent whistle by the officials. That one was hard to tell. Anyway, Dunna has it on the right side. Takes it over to the free throw line. Gets it up to Hannah. Over to Isabella on the left. Out high to Beyer. Ball gets knocked away as they're trying to get it to Glaus. Barsted has it. She lays it up off the glass and in for the Vikings. 40-31. Vikings up by 9. Hannah bringing it down the court for Elmwood Plum City. Gets it across the timeline. Tries to feed it down low. Ball gets knocked away by Olsen, and she sends it over to, Addison Olsen on the layup. She sent it over to somebody I couldn't see was on the far side. Tried to pick up the number, but she dished it right back to Olsen, who took it in and put it in. 42-31. Vikings on top. Hannah with it. Shot from the wing. No good. Rebound. Taken away. Olsen fighting for it. Doesn't get it. They get it back. Hannah drives down the right side of the lane. No good. Putback is no good, but whistled and a foul. Beyer with shot, and I think the foul is going to be on Paulus. So Beyer goes to the line. Goes up. It's no good. Vikings up by 11. Second shot on the way. It's good. (42-32). Vikings on top. Olsen sends it down into the left corner to Harmon. She takes it back out. Gets it to Paulus at the top of the key. Paulus over to the right side. Out to Olsen. Drives into the lane. Lays it up. It doesn't go in. And the ball gets knocked loose, and coming away with it is Elmwood Plum City. McDonough down the left side. Kicks it out to Glaus. Now to Beyer at the top of the key. Shot is no good. Rebound being chased down. Glaus gets a hold of it. They feed it out to the left side wing. Its shot is up. It's no good by Isabella, and the ball goes out of bounds, evidently off of the Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves getting a little ragged right now. They'll have to kind of settle in here in the second half.
And the thing that's unfortunate, I see them hanging their head a few times, and they've got nothing to hang their head about.
Shot goes in by 20 for Colfax. Good three-pointers there.
That's Marissa Harmon with that shot. Elmwood Plum City with it. Hannah with it, feeds it into the lane, and the ball gets taken away by Bradford. And they feed it over to Barsted, who tries to drive in the lane, and that time Isabella just kind of grabbed her by the arm and spun her around on her way in. They're going to say the foul was on the floor. 4 in, 4 out for the Vikings. Irwin to inbound it for the Vikings. Tries to feed it into Bertram Schofield underneath, and it got knocked out of bounds right away by Isabella. So Irwin to inbound it again. Feeds it out high to Bertram Schofield this time on the left side. Over to Irwin from the left corner, takes it out to the wing. To Barsted at the top of the key. Barsted tries to go onto the dribble. It went off her foot. It's being scrambled for, picked up by the Vikings. They get it to Irwin, who drives down the baseline. Get it out to Shipman from the side three-pointer. Up, they're saying a two-pointer. Her foot was over the line. Down the floor comes Elmwood Plum City. 47-32. Vikings up by 15. Webb has it from the right side. Puts it up no good. Whistle, and the ball went out of bounds off of Elmwood Plum City. Vikings will have it. Best to bring it down the floor. She's between the circles. Get over to the right side to Irwin. Now back out high to Shipman. Shipman puts up the three. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Barstead, but we're going to get a jump ball called. And the possession arrow is in favor of Elmwood Plum City. They finally get the ball, and we're going to get a 5-second call against Elmwood Plum City. Took them a little too long to get the ball in. Tough defense by the Vikings, making it real difficult for Elmwood Plum City to pass. Shipman gets it in. Irwin has it at the top of the key, feeds into the lane to Shipman, turns around, puts it up, no good. Putback shot, no good, and down with it come the Wolves. It's Isabella. She feeds it over to McDonough. She's at the top of the key, spins, moves into the lane, kicks it out to Byer on the right or on the left side. Out high to Isabella, to Webb on the right, over to McDonough on the left, and she put the three-pointer up and good. Haley McDonough with the three. 47-32, Vikings on top. Or check that, that's 47-35, Vikings on top. Shot goes up by the Vikings, no good. Rebound. Vikings tip it inbounds, and Glaus catches it for the Wolves, and they bring it down the floor. Webb has it, gets it over to Isabella on the left side. Back up to Webb. Over to Byer on the right. To Glaus, turns around, puts it up, no good. Rebound chased down by the Vikings. And they bring it down the floor. Best with it. She gets it over to Barstead. Barstead into the lane, puts up the jumper, no good, but she got fouled on the way up. So the foul is on Elmwood Plum City, and Barstead's at the line. Their shot is up and good.
Third team foul for Elmwood Plum City.
How many points so far for Glaus? And the second shot is good.
Well, I'll have to take a look. $11 points so far from Maggie Glaus.
Okay, she's right about on her average then. But she hasn't had any easy ones. The Vikings have been challenging her all night long. Webb with it on the right side, tries to feed cross-court pass to Byer. It's just out of her reach. And it goes out of bounds. Vikings will have it. 49-35. Vikings up by 14. Best with it across the timeline. She stops between the circles, keeps the dribble going. Now takes it down to the lane. Feeds it out to Irwin. Puts up the three. She hit the three-pointer from the left wing. Abby Irwin. Inbound pass gets knocked away by the Vikings, and we got a traveling call on Isabella Forrester for the same reason. This is about the third one on her tonight, where she catches the ball and then falls on her wallet. I don't know if she wears her wallet there or not. I do. But anyway, it's a traveling call either way.
Yeah, more pressure by Colfax.
Best with it at the free throw line for the Vikings. Takes it down the right side. They beat it out high. Shot goes up, no good. But, whistle and a foul.
Yeah.
And a foul is going to send Irwin to the line, and I believe she's going to be shooting three. She was in three-point range. So her first shot is on the way. No good. The back of the iron. Second shot on the way. That one hits the front and the back of the iron, doesn't go in. Now for her third shot. It's on the way, and it's also no good. That was a well-calculated foul by Elmwood Plum City. They've got the ball. Pass gets intercepted by the Vikings, but then the next pass gets intercepted by Elmwood Plum City. Down the floor comes McDonough. She puts up a shot, no good. Rebound tapped in by the Vikings. Tapped in bounds, and down the floor they come. Emily Bertram Schofield with the layup. No, it doesn't go in. And the Wolves have it. McDonough with it. Comes across the timeline. Feeds it over to the right side to Webb. Cross-court pass over to Byer. Out high to Hannah. To Webb. To McDonough on the left. Shot goes up from the left wing. No good by Byer. Back in the lane that time by Glaus. And it's 52-37. Vikings come down the floor. Best puts it up, and it goes in. Best on the layup, and she got it to drop. 54-37. Elmwood Plum City quickly back down the floor. McDonough has it, high, wide, and left. Into the left corner. Now into the lane. Back out to McDonough at the top of the key. Rebound taken down by Parker. To Irwin. And over to Best as she brings it down the floor. 9:56 to go in the game. Best with it. Takes it over to the right side. To the right wing. Driving in is Bertram Schofield, and she got fouled on her way up. So Emily Bertram Schofield to go to the line.
Yeah, fourth team foul on Elmwood, Plum City.
Emily's first shot is good. And her second shot rolls around, and it goes in. Vikings starting to open things up a little bit. Inbound pass. And we're going to get a foul called on Abby Irwin. Underneath, she grabbed a hold of somebody trying to cut through.
That's only their second foul, team foul. Oh, third.
So down the floor comes Elmwood Plum City. They feed it over to Webb on the left side. Out high to McDonough. McDonough takes it down to the free throw line. She stops there. Gets it over to the left wing to Byer. Now down to the left baseline. And a turnaround jumper at the left baseline by Webb. It's good. 56-39. Vikings on top. And we have a whistle and a turnover by the Vikings. I think possibly they were over on the right side, and I think maybe they stepped on the end line. We have timeout on the floor. So, with a timeout on the floor, you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
And we're back here, and Elmwood comes down with the ball. Committed a turnover, and Vikings have it. Coming back down the floor. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, and we're doing the best we can calling it remotely. From Elmwood, Emily Bertram Schofield with a three-pointer. She put it in. And Vikings putting on full-court pressure. Ball gets taken away by Shipman. Puts up the shot, no good. Her own putback is no good, but the Vikings get the rebound. Noel with it. Feeds it over to Best from the left side, three-pointer, no good. Rebound chased down by Best. She gets it over to, they're going to call it for a travel. She rolled over with the ball, and that is a travel. On the floor right now for the Vikings, we have Shipman and Best, Olsen, and Bertram Schofield, and Knoll. They're all out there for the Vikings. McDonough has it on the right side, high, wide, and right. Now she gets it across to Webb. Over to Hannah. She drives into the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound being fought for. We have a whistle, and I think we're going to get a jump ball. Maybe not. Yes, it's a jump ball, and possession was in favor of the Vikings. Pass comes into Best, and she brings it right down through the center circle. To Shipman, between the circles. Shipman feeds it over to the left side to Knoll. Gets it back out to Bertram Schofield from three, puts it up, no good. Rebound, taken down, and the ball is tied up on the floor. Jump ball, it's Viking ball. The Vikings did just have it, and maybe it was a turnover on the other end. It's hard. I'll tell you what, that's why I say we're doing the best we can calling this game remotely, because you don't get to see everything. Now we have a jump ball again, and this one goes over to Elmwood. So it all comes out in the wash. Webb has it, gets it over to McDonough, to Hannah, still in the backcourt to McDonough. She's double teamed. Still in the backcourt, finally throws it into the forecourt. They try to feed it down underneath, and the pass gets intercepted by the Vikings. Emily Bertram Schofield on the interception. Feeds it over to Best as she brings it across the timeline. Best takes it over to the left side, gets it to Olsen, drives into the lane. Tries to put the shot up, but draws the foul.
Foul should be in number 14, Lily Webb for the Wolves. 5th team foul.
Ashton Olsen at the line. First shot is up, rolls around and off. No good. Her second shot. And that one's good. 60-39. Vikings on top. Wolves double teamed in the backcourt. Isabella tries to get it up. Ball's loose on the floor now. And we have a timeout being called by the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. So we do have a timeout on the floor with the score. Vikings 60, Elmwood Plum City 39. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
And we're back here at Elmwood. We aren't, but the game is. Elmwood Plum City feeds the ball in. They get it down to Glouse underneath, who lays it up and in. 60-41. Vikings on top. 6:54 to go. Down the floor come the Vikings. Best feeds it over to the right side. Shot goes up from the right wing is no good. And down the floor comes Elmwood Plum City. That was Olsen with that three-pointer. Forrester, that's Hannah with it. Now she gets it over to Beyer. Feeds it into Blouse. Tries to get it back out to Hannah. Ball gets knocked loose and it's out of bounds. And it's going to be out of bounds off of Elmwood Plum City.
Yeah, good hustle by number 24, Tyler Knoll for Colfax to create turnover.
So the Vikings inbound the ball. Olsen on the dribble. Takes it across the timeline. To the top of the key. She puts on a move, comes down the right side, feeds it off to Harmon. Now she kicks it over to the left side and back across over to Olsen on the right. Olsen now between the circles. Down to the free throw line, drives down the lane. She puts it up, no good. Did not draw a foul that time. And down the floor comes Elmwood Plum City. Hannah with it, over to Isabella. To Fire on the left. She's on the left wing. Dribbles back through. We have a whistle. And I believe we're going to have a foul on Bradford. Bailey Bradford with the foul.
14 foul for Colfax.
And the Wolves inbound the ball. The ball goes off the back of Harmon's hands, but the Wolves pick it up. Top of the key, Isabella, over to the left side to Hannah. Hannah to McDonough. Now back out high to Byer. She tries to put up a shot. It was partially blocked, and we have a whistle down underneath and a jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings.
More good defense by Colfax, creating another jump ball.
And down the floor comes Addie Olsen, and she's between the circles. To the free throw line, goes over to the right side, feeds it over to Harmon. Now to Bradford, takes it into the lane, puts up a jumper, no good. Rebound taken down, and we got a whistle underneath. And I think we're going to have a foul on Barstead. $60-41, Vikings on top. Wholesale substitutions for the Vikings. 5 in, 5 out. McDonough inbounds it. Got it over to Isabella, back to McDonough, over to Hannah, and then up into the forecourt. Byer with it, out high to McDonough between the circles. Takes it over to the right side, stops at the free throw line. Gets it out to Hannah. Hannah to Isabella. Then over to the left side to Byer. Into the lane, I believe that was Glaus with the hook shot, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Down the floor they come, down the right side. They feed it down underneath. Layup is no good, and ball gets knocked around and goes out of bounds. That shot was by Nut Hajdukovic. Three-pointer on the way for Plum City, and it's no good. The rebound taken down by Plum City, but then knocked out of bounds. I believe that was by Hydorn. And the three-pointer goes up by Byer, no good. Rebound taken down by Isabella. And we have a jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of Elmwood Plum City. Inbound the ball. We have a whistle right away, and I think we're going to have a foul maybe on Jeanette Hajdukovic. It is. Foul on Hajdukovic. Got a little bit of a hand on the girl trying to catch the ball.
And that's 16 fouls for Colfax, so next one, Elmwood will be in the bonus.
60-41, Vikings on top. Pass comes into Glaus, gets knocked out of bounds right away by Hydorn. Or check that by Hajdukovic. So Elmwood gets the ball again. Inbound pass to Krogstad. Ball gets knocked loose on the floor and tapped out of bounds. I believe it was off of Jenna Godell. No, it was last touched by Elmwood Plum City. So down the floor come the Vikings. They get it to Hajdukovic in the lane. To Knoll, puts up a shot from the elbow, and it's good. Tyler Knoll with a two-pointer. 62-41. Down the floor come the Wolves. They kick it back out high to Webb. Three-pointer on the way off the front of the iron, no good. Rebound being chased down by Goodell. She gets it to Hajdukovic, tries to feed it out. And the ball gets knocked loose, and Elmwood Plum City comes up with it in the back. Down comes Hannah. She feeds it over into the left corner. They get it back out high, then over to Krogstad from the top of the key. Puts up the shot, no good. Rebound, taken down by Glaus. No on her shot, and a jump ball on the rebound. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings, but we have a timeout on the floor. So with 3:06 to go in this one, Vikings 62, Elmwood Plum City 41. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
High-deductible health plan. Opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And we're back at Elmwood, at least visually back at Elmwood. And the Vikings inbound the ball. Down the floor and taking it up. That's Molly Hydorn on the move to the basket. She got fouled on her way up. Her first free throw off the front of the iron is no good. Second shot on the way. It's good. 63-41, 22-point lead for the Vikings. Down the floor comes McDonough. She gets it over to the left side to Hannah. Into the lane to Krogstad. Hook shot by Krogstad. No good. Rebound chased down by Beyer, and they get her for a double dribble. She caught it, dribbled a couple times, stopped, and started dribbling again. That's a double dribble. And another turnover. And that, a lot of times, that's caused by pressure on the defense. Hydorn with it. Gets it out to Reen. Back over to Hydorn, then to Goodell. Puts up a shot, no good. Rebound put up by Hajdukovic is no good. And down the floor comes Elmwood Plum City. And we have a whistle. And the foul is going to be on Jenna Goodell.
Yeah, and that's the 7th team foul for Colfax, so Elmwood will be in the bonus.
Anna at the line for the 1-on-1, and her shot rattles around, touched every part of the rim, and then went through. Second shot on the way, and that one's nothing but net. 63-43, Vikings up by 20. Boy, this game looked in the first half. I thought the Vikings would have a 20-point lead in the late part of the game. Down the floor comes Hydorn. Gets it over to Hajdukovic. They get it out to Goodell. Goodell puts up a shot. No good. Rebound taken down by Elmwood Plum City. And down the floor they come. McDonough with it. And we have a wrestling match on the floor, but it's tied up. Goodell and McDonough. I think they're going to give Goodell a takedown, but it's a tied up basketball jump ball. Possession arrow for Elmwood Plum City. They have the ball. McDonough has it into the lane. Kicks it out to Hannah with a three, and it's no good. Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic. To Hydorn. And down the floor she comes. Stops out between the circles. Keeps her dribble going, however. Now she picks up the dribble. Feeds it over to Noel. Noel takes it over to the right side. Good stiff pass down to Hajdukovic. Puts up the shot. No good. Gets her own rebound. And ball gets taken away by Elmwood Plum City. Down the floor, McDonough feeds it over to the left side to Hannah. Back out to Bauer. Bauer has it on the right wing. Does a spin move, tries to get inside, and we have a whistle and a foul. I believe it's on Goodell again. Check that. It might have been on Hajdukovic. It's hard to see the fingers the officials are holding up when we're watching it on a monitor. Hydorn with it, gets it to Hajdukovic in the lane, puts up the shot, and they're going to say she got fouled on her way up. So Jeanette Hajdukovic to go to the line for a couple. 48.5 seconds to go in this one. Vikings up by 20. First shot, rims around and off. And the second shot is off the back of the iron, and Elmwood Plum City comes down with the ball. Quickly down the floor is Hannah. She feeds a cross-court pass. Now McDonough has it. Down low to Krogstad. Krogstad tries to drive in, puts up a shot. It doesn't go, and they get it to Knoll coming down the floor for the Vikings. To Goodell, puts up the three. Goodell hit the three-pointer. Jenna Goodell. And down the floor comes Elmwood Plum City. 66-43. Hannah drives the left side of the lane, tries to go up with it, loses control, goes out of bounds, but it went out of bounds because it was tipped by the Vikings. McDonough to inbound for Elmwood Plum City. She gets it into Bauer, feeds it out to Beyer, to McDonough, to Krogstad, turn around, puts it up, no good. Goodell on the rebound, and down the floor come the Vikings. And we have a timeout on the floor. Oh, check it. That's the final buzzer. Boy, did that time go by quickly. Final score in this one. Vikings 66, Elmwood Plum City Wolves 43. That's your final tonight, and we will have Viking postgame coming up right after this time. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You have a high-deductible health plan. Opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Girls Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Time now for Viking postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. And now, Viking postgame.
Here we are back in our alternate studios. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, and we've just seen the Vikings And I didn't write down the final score.
Shoot, I didn't either. I always do, too.
Hang on a second here. I think maybe we'll get lucky. And we do. It was 66-43 Vikings. One of these days, I'm going to catch myself at that and not have a fallback plan. But 66-43 Vikings were victorious in this one. And Dan, why don't you give us a rundown on how we got to 66?
Yeah, here's the scores for Elmwood Plum City tonight. Their leading scorer was number 11, Maggie Glaus. She had 14 points, followed by number 20, Hannah Beyer. She had 12 points. We had number 12, Hannah Forrester with 6. We had Isabel Forrester with 4. We had Haley McDonough with 3, and Lily Webb with 2. For the Colfax Vikings, their leading scorer tonight was number 22, Maddie Barstead. She had 15 points, followed by Emily Bertram Schofield. She had 10. We had Abby Irwin with 9. We had Addison Olson, Marissa Harmon, and Jasmine Best. They all had 6 points. We had McKenna Shipman with 5. We had Jenna Goodell. She had 3. We had Bailey Bradford with 2 and Molly Hydorn with 1. Another deep bench for Colfax tonight. 12 girls with points.
And it's a real good thing is that last 4 to 5 minutes was played by girls who normally don't get very much playing time. That's some significant time in a varsity game for those girls. That's going to be a big help for the Vikings.
Yeah, with them even scoring.
Right, and so I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but we're going to take a bit of a time out. You're tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
NLWN-TV is excited to present NWARCI's racing action. Next Saturday, we'll present live ice racing from Bloomer, Wisconsin. Join us at 11:45 a.m. from Como Lake in Bloomer. That's live NWARCI's racing action on Saturday, January 23rd at 11:45 on NLWN-TV.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows? Maybe life is looking for us, too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
And Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. And I'll tell you what, Dan, Vikings come out on top 66-43, but it wasn't as easy as that score indicates it was.
Yeah, the first half was pretty tough. Both teams fought hard, and just towards the end of by about 4 minutes left in the first half, Colfax defense kind of picked up and created some turnovers and hit some shots at the end of the first half, kind of start pulling away a little bit.
Well, in fact, Elmwood Plum City held the lead in this game easily halfway through the first half, if not 2/3 of the way through the first half. They were in the lead, and then the Vikings were able to come back and establish themselves and start doing. And you know what? It was with their defense.
Yeah, defense for Colfax sure picked up in the second half, and the girls hit their free throws when they needed to start pulling away.
Yeah, it was that pressure defense. You could see it happening as they would put the pressure on in the backcourt. Even if Elmwood Plum City got it into the forecourt, they were starting to hurry their passes, not making sure of things, and that's when the Vikings pounced and made things start to happen. And they basically steadily pulled away in the second half.
That's a good way to take care of this game and to overcome adversity. It gets a little more difficult in the next few games for the Vikings, and they've got a tough schedule going on.
Yeah, it's going to pick up here in the second half of the season, and they're going to start seeing some tougher teams here pretty soon.
Well, and they've just gotten into that really intense part. The one good thing, schedule-wise, for the Vikings, I think they would have just as soon seen this actually happen, but they were supposed to play a game on Saturday against Ellsworth, and that game has been canceled. So those of you that had that scheduled on your calendar, the game with Ellsworth on Saturday has been canceled. So the Viking girls will now be back in action, I believe. Yes, they have a game on Monday that we're not going to be at because we were already committed to do the Boyceville game on Monday for the boys. The boys are at Elk Mound tomorrow and are at Boyceville, or Elk Mound is at Colfax tomorrow, I should say. And the boys are at Boyceville on Monday, but the girls are also at Elk Mound on Monday. I'll keep that straight. And then they have another game on Tuesday. We will have that one. And so the Vikings are in the midst of a real busy part of their schedule, and we're going to try to keep up with them. But boy, that's going to be pretty tough. You also pointed out 12 girls score for the Vikings today.
Yeah, deep bench again for Colfax, which is good for the coaches.
And I'll tell you what, that's going to come in really handy, especially with this compressed schedule that they have right now in this part of the season. They're going to need that bench because legs are going to start to get tired, and especially towards the latter part. And those are going to be games that really count. And we've got another Durand game coming up. We've got that Elk Mound game on Monday coming up. There's a Mondovi game coming up a little closer to the end of the season. That's where the bottleneck is in this conference. And the Vikings are right part of it, sitting all alone in first place right now. But that deep bench is really going to pay off, hopefully, for the Vikings.
Yeah, they got to keep their foot on the gas pedal. They're in the lead, but there's teams out there like Elk Mound and Durand that are right behind them.
And to the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, I was impressed with their scrappiness. They were hustling. And then I saw in the second half, and it was just about the same time the Vikings had turned the corner, all of a sudden I saw a few heads start to drop. And it's going to take a while. They've got a bit of a culture change to go through there, but I think that they can do that. They've got a team that's reasonably young. Glaus will be back next year. Beyer will be back next year, and they were the two leading scorers for the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, and they could figure in things next season. They're not this year, unless they play a spoiler role, but they could figure into things next season. So I hope they don't get too down on themselves because they can make some things happen yet.
Oh, yeah. They got lots of good pieces to their puzzle, and just got to stick with the game plan, and things will start to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll be back with some very final thoughts from this one. Vikings come out victorious 66-43. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, and you're tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Hey! Okay. Mm-hmm.
If you love me enough to tolerate my perfect little pets and all their glorious dander, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
And Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow back here in our studios following the Viking 66-43 over the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. And a couple of things, Dan and I, while we were doing that ad break there, we were just going through what our schedule is looking like, and holy cow, we're going to be busy. The boys game, next boys game that we cover will be tomorrow night when the Vikings host the Elk Mound Mounders. Viking pregame will be at 6:55, and live play-by-play will begin at 7:10. And that game has gained a lot of importance. After Tuesday's game, the Viking boys knocked off front-running Spring Valley 53-51 on a last-second shot. And it leaves the Vikings tied for first in the loss column. They're a half a game behind the Mounders, and then Spring Valley now has one more loss than the Vikings do. So this is a really important game tomorrow night, and we're going to be there to bring it all to you. The next girls' game that we are going to carry will be on Tuesday, the 26th, when the Viking girls host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Viking pregame will be at 6:55. Live play-by-play will be at 7:10. And the boys, we're also going to have the boys at Boyceville. That'll be on Monday, again with a 6:55, 7:10 starting time. Don't forget, NLWN-TV is going to be bringing you ice racing, NWIRC ice racing on Saturdays, including the day after tomorrow. The races will be coming from Bloomer on Lake Como, and coverage of those races will begin at 11:45 on NLWN-TV. Supposed to be chilly, supposed to be snowy. We're going to dress for it. We're going to have a blast. And then don't forget, coming up in March, I know it's a little bit early, but coming up in March, we are going to have classic Wissota racing action. We're going to bring you 7 of the weekend races from Eagle Valley Speedway from last summer. And we're adding a few additional features to it to help get you ready for the 2021 racing season. Classic Wissota racing action will be on Wednesday nights beginning at 7 o'clock, starting on March 17th. So that's all the stuff coming up on NLWN-TV. And be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com. And everything that we've got coming up will be listed for you there. You'll be able to find out what all is going to happen. And make sure you follow us on Facebook, and that's where we keep you posted if there's any schedule changes. With COVID going on, you just never know when there's going to be some kind of schedule change. We had one with this Ellsworth game, for example. This game, the starting time got changed because there was no JV game. And so we keep you posted about that type of stuff on our Facebook page. So just look up Northern Light Webcasting Network on Facebook, and you'll find us, and we'll keep you posted with all of that good information. Dan, any final thoughts on this one?
No, just another good win for Colfax. They're kind of gotten a groove here in the last 4 or 5 games, and see if they can keep it going.
Yeah, especially come Monday night. Unfortunately, we won't be there. Sort of unfortunately. We do have the boys Monday night, but hopefully they can keep it going against the Elk Mound Mounders and come away with another win then. So for Dan Petchow, this is Rick Olson. Final score once again, Colfax Viking 66, Elmwood Plum City Wolves 43. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.